Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Friday. Yep, it's the 13th, Friday the 13th of February, and we've got a little look at what's going on Sunday when we play Leeds United, and also general catch up on everything that's going on at St Andrews. Of course, yesterday the sad news that Tom Wagner had a bit of a stroke. Can you say? We just obviously all hope that Tom's okay and that he's going to get on the mend pretty soon. We're going to have a look at the team selection for Sunday. What do we think it's going to be? And what do we want to do? We want to win. We want to beat Leeds and go forward and possibly end up with some games in hand, or what? I'm going to have a little look around, see who's here, and then we're going to get going the way that we usually do, of course. So here we go. Let's see what we got. All right, we got one comment and 5 viewers. That's fantastic, isn't it? What a nice start. Let's expand the comments and see who's speaking. It's Scott Harrison, new bottling as normal. You're always on early, Scott. It's really nice, mate. It's great to see you. Thank you very much for coming on again. I hope you enjoy our little chats. Today, I've literally just come through the door. I've had a really busy morning this morning. You don't read about it. It's the 13th, isn't it? If anything can go wrong, nothing bad. Nothing bad. But you know what I mean. Paul James is here. Paul and Scott always seem to be the first two on, which is good. Nice to see you both. People always ask me what the weather's like over at the moment, and we've got a bit of a wind warning in effect, but I think we've got about 15 degrees, which isn't bad for the time of the year. So spring's coming here really. We've had a couple of days, the last few days, where it's been 22, 23 degrees. It's just dropped a little bit today because of the wind. Pete Dawkins is on. How are you doing, Pete? Firstly, the thing with Tom Wagner, I mean, it is a little bit where I'm looking at some of the posts now, and I mean, listen, we sent, I sent an email yesterday to Jeremy Dale as soon as I found out, asking Jeremy to pass on our group's best wishes to Tom and wish him a speedy recovery, and he emailed me straight away back and say, he's going to do that. Thank you, Steve. So I think the guy isn't dead, all right. So I know there's going to be an outpouring of sympathy, and rightly so. He's a comparatively young man, Tom is. I work, I still actively work in stroke and cardiac rehabilitation, and listen, comparatively young. I understand it was a mild stroke. These things, probably a month or two, he's going to be back to his normal self. He looks quite a fit man, and I'm imagining that he has really good medical care. So fingers crossed, all being well, Tom's going to be back with us really soon and back down St Andrews. I'm sure he would have been there this weekend. It's probably, these things happen, and it's probably a good job it didn't happen in the UK, because he's going to be away from home and everything. So Tom, if you're watching, who knows, you might be. Listen, we all love you, mate, and get well soon, and we look forward to seeing you back. It's a minor blip these days, a mild stroke. You're going to get over it easy. And a lot of the time when people have had a little bit of a surprise like that, with either like a mild heart attack or a minor stroke, obviously if you're not too serious, then you're better protected than most of the population, because the actual combination of drugs they're going to put you on is going to make sure that you're absolutely safe, and I'm pretty sure your medical cover is going to be absolutely brilliant, so you won't be waiting on any you won't be waiting on any trolleys in passageways of hospitals like a lot of people are. But Tom, get well soon, son, and let's try and beat Leeds for you on Sunday. Get you into the last, it's the last 32, isn't it, of the FA Cup. It would be nice for us to get in the fourth round. Obviously Newcastle were a bit of an issue for us last year, but what a great evening that was. It's going to be slightly different because we've got a lunchtime kick-off, haven't we? And it's I don't know, like, you know, the lunchtime kick-offs are a bit the atmosphere can be a little bit sterile, can't it? So I don't know how that's going to affect things. But it's Blues and Leeds, and you know, there's a little bit of bad blood there over the years, isn't there? And let's hope that doesn't raise its ugly head. 5,500 Leeds supporters are going to be in attendance tomorrow, in the, you know, taking over the Gilmerick. It just adds to the atmosphere. You know, we ain't going to let Leeds come to St Andrews and steamroll us in terms of support. So we're going to get behind them. So guys, come and say hello to me. Come and give me your thoughts on the Leeds game. Come and tell me about how you feel about Tom. We're all upset about him, of course we are. But what do you think? What setup? What do you think the team setup's going to be tomorrow? I'll be interested to find that out. Obviously, I have my opinion on it, and I want to see what your opinions of it will be. I'm just going to do something. I'll be 1 second. So have a little think. Type something to me. Let me know you're still there, because I've had a comment now for a while. So I want to make sure you're still there. You know what it's like for me. I don't get on too well with Facebook. I always seem to have issues when I'm on their lives for some reason. Okay, Graham Post is on. How you doing, Gray? I hope you're alright, mate. What do you think the team's going to be, Gray? I'm convinced we're going to see a weakened team. When I say weakened, we don't really have a weakened team, because we have so much strength in depth now that you could more or less play a second string team, or what we might consider to be a second string team, and it would still probably, you know, give most teams in the Championship a good game. So I'm thinking, you know, we're going to give some players a rest that need a rest. Probably give Allsop a run out. He hasn't had a game for a while. He was actually I can't. What? Yeah, you know, he could have had a run out before Allsop, but he wasn't chosen, was he? Which was a bit of an odd one. That was in the previous game. Paul James saying return of Kojo. Kyogo, you mean, mate? Could be. He could be given a chance, because I think Priska's going to start. I don't think Dutch will feature. I don't think Stansfield will start. So it could well be Kojo up top. Thing is, you know, like, in terms of playing a number 10, probably will be Stansfield. So I don't know. I think probably we'll get Vicente returning on the right. I think we're going to get Dimmy on the left. I think we need to keep Solis in the team, because he's been so influential for us. Although he has played quite a lot of football, I do think it'd be nice to keep him there, and perhaps try him with Iwata. Right back, Samuel, I think we will see Panzo, and it has to be Clara. I think, you know, although it could be Panzo and Neumann, Clara's played a lot of football, and he's got his young child. And then in the left back position, I think it's going to be, I think we're going to see unchanged there with Kai Wagner. We haven't got much option on that left hand side. But what are your opinions on it? What do you think? I mean, I like, you know, to me, the game is going to be an important one, because it's, you know, it's an occasion, isn't it? It's the FA Cup. It's the FA Cup. It's at St Andrews, and we want to put on a good display. But it definitely is not as important as the FA Cup. Paul James is saying, yeah, he's agreeing. We got his name wrong. It's dead easy to do so. Steve Maguire saying, oh, you Steve. Ben Colley reckon Iwata and Solis could be a very interesting. Yeah, it could be. No doubt about that. We've got two very, very good players, Iwata and Solis. I still think it would be extremely hard to better what's happened with him and Pake so far. I think we realised actually when Pake went off against Albion just what a big part he plays in the team. You know, I mean, he really is very, very strong. You know. Sunday we play, yes. Give me one moment. Yeah, so it's going to be an interesting one. He definitely, you know, if he does start Iwata there, and I think he probably will, and I think Asai Samuel, or he could play Asai Samuel on the right of the midfield. It wouldn't be impossible. Ben saying normally Pake Doyle, it would be good to see a different partnership. I mean, we could see Doyle and Iwata there. I don't want him to rest Solis, not because he doesn't deserve a rest, because the lad's got, you know, the lad's been playing in Spain, although sporadically. So I think it would be important to keep Solis there. And like you said, I don't think it worked with Doyle and Pake, so I don't think that option. With Pake with Doyle and Solis, it just didn't look right. So I think let's see what it's like with Iwata. Daniel Garvey's on. How you doing, Dan? I hope you're alright, mate. Friday, innit? Thank God it's Friday, eh? But I've got to go to work in the morning only for an hour or two, but bloody hell, I haven't got to, but I've got so many clients at the moment, I've got to try and fit them in. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what team he goes with. And Leeds are going to play a weakened team, there's no doubt about that. They're fighting for their lives. So I know they ain't going to be at full strength, so that gives us an opportunity, doesn't it? Ryan will be, Allsop will be in goal probably, because, you know, he needs a game. He hasn't had a game for ages. So I think we'll just give it, you know, he should get the option. If he doesn't, then there's something wrong. But yeah, probably, yeah. Too much rain on the south coast here. Yeah, you're in Spain, aren't you, Dan? Yeah, I heard it's been really bad down there, mate. All the way, you know, like Malaga and down there, it's been really, really bad. We've had it quite nice up here. We had a little bit, but not the way you've had it down south. You know, we're further east, which makes a difference as well. Yeah, also probably in goal. I mean, it's not the biggest, that's not like the most important one, you know. Some of the outfield players need a break. One that I think particularly needs a bit of a break is Clara. You know, he's just had a child, well, not him, his missus has just had a child, and he has played a lot of football. He was big in the game against the Albion, and I think he deserves a little break, although I don't know if he'd want one, you know. He would want a break when you're playing an FA Cup game against Leeds, I don't know. But I think Panzo needs to have a run out. We want to have a little look at him, don't we? So we'll see what happens. Ben Colley is what about Priska? I think he'll probably start. Who are your favourite two from the four in terms of a partnership in future? Friska, Stano. Well, the answer to that, Dutch and Kyogo. I think the answer to that is, well, there's two parts to that really. The first one is it depends on opposition. It depends, are we home or away? I think Priska is more likely to be played away from home, and also dependent on the opposition as well. So Kyogo, I think, is probably going to be used in case of injury. I think the other three are going to rotate. Dux is better at home, but he doesn't like anything physical. So if there's any sort of physical game, it's got to be Stansfield and Priska. Dux, we know, has got a lovely pass in him, and he's got goals in him, but you can't, he can't continue to play the way he's playing. Perform for 2 games, go missing for 4. You can't do that. He's a really important part of our team and of our plans going forward, and he has to step up. If he can't do that, we'll see what happens. If he plays against Leeds, then we'll see if he can play 3 games in a week. But I think that's what does him. I just don't think he's got that strength. Whilst Neumann looked okay against Albion, there was a lot of stray passes going everywhere. That was mainly down to the pitch and the water on the ball. It wasn't easy. Lee Harvey's agreeing with me. I don't know what bit you're agreeing with, Lee. Stansfield needs resting. Not one pass or win conflict against a novice Albion defence. Well, I mean, you have to ask the question, mate. Stansfield was playing up top. Where was Ducks? The number 10 is there to make those passes. He didn't do it. Ducks went missing. When Ducks goes missing, Stansfield has to come back and cover it. Stansfield probably runs more kilometres in the game than any other player in that team. And I have to disagree with you there, Dan. Don't go. What you're doing there is you're saying, not one pass or win conflict against a novice Albion defence. Where was Ducks? Because that's his job, not Stansfield. Stansfield was playing up top. Ducks was playing the number 10. What did he do? You have to look at this sensibly. Don't look at a player like Stansfield and think because we all tend to expect a lot from him. He's the golden boy and all that business. Look at what the lad does. Look at who's playing around him when he has to come back and do the job of the number 10 and he's playing the number 9 as well. Then it's not an easy thing to do. And Lee means that he feels Stansfield needs a break as well. He scored the other week, can't score every week. But he's on there just to score goals. It's like, Chris Davies said to him, he doesn't care if he scores or not. Look at what else he does for the team. Steve Maguire's back being passed for. Steve, I honestly don't know, but I think Pake is going to be out probably. What happens with dislocations, if you have one, okay, I think he came back a bit fast anyway from that dislocation. I think, secondly, if it comes out again, then it's an issue. If it comes out more than once like that, there's 2 options really. We try and nurse him until the end of the season, or at the end of the season he has an operation now and he's going to miss probably the best part of the remainder of the season. So it depends how the manager wants to play it. David Garvey says Stansfield gave ball away or lost every single. He didn't lose every single challenge. Come on. And he gave. When you say gave the ball away, what do you mean, Dan? He gave it away once. He gave it away 20 times. You can look at the figures. I can tell you. I can name you another 5 players that consistently gave the ball away the other night. And the conditions have an awful lot to do with that. How many times let's come back with it, Dan. Tell me how many times Ducks gave the ball away, how many conflicts he won, and how many passes he made, and you tell me that, and then just look at the 2 of them, because the 10 plays for the 9. It's not the other way around, but it had to be because Ducks weren't performing, You're absolutely right, Paul. The conditions were awful. It was so unfortunate the way it happened as well, because he dropped on his shoulder, didn't he, when he went to head that ball. I mean, you couldn't have made it up, could you? Oh Jesus! Such an important part of our setup as well, and you could see that the other day. You could see that the other day when he went off. We changed. Ben Colley saying, to be fair, Solis was off the ball against Albion. That was compared to all the other performances. Yeah, he was. But if you noticed, it happened after Pake went off. And I know Pake went off after 15 minutes, but he looked fine. Suddenly, then Doyle was a little bit more You know, he moves around a little bit more. He doesn't cover like Pike. He hasn't got Pike's experience, and it left Solis more exposed, which means he had to do more work. Solis gave the ball away a few times as well. You know, he did. Dan Garvey said he did lose every challenge. That's a. I will show you, mate. Come on, that's a fact. Where did you see that fact that Stansfield lost every challenge? You show it me. I'll put my hands up and I'll apologise to you. You show me that fact. Don't forget that a fact isn't an opinion. A fact is something you can prove, and it's been proven. And if you show me figures that say every single challenge Stansfield went into, he lost, I'll put my hands up and I'll agree with you. Mark Christian, I Steve Opie. I'm good, thank you, Mark. It's not you Ducks made 6 passes, Stansfield. You keep putting this fact. I mean, just showing me. And if he did, listen, a pass can be at 2 inches. If you think Ducks, do you think Ducks had a good game, Dan? Bernie saying, mind you, the whole team was frustrating. It was, but you know what? As well, like the conditions were awful. They were, and we didn't start that well. I don't think we played that well on the night. Albion had a game, was set up well against us. They pressed us well. They made life difficult for us, and that's their job, you know. Listen, Albion, they're going to give you a game, aren't they? Lee's saying he's buzzing for Leeds game. Is it knockout stages now? Draw, go to the. No, mate, no. It's finished on the day, Lee. So it'll be done by penalties if it's a draw at the end. Just going back to Dan Garvey. Dan, if you got those figures, just DM them to me, send them to me. I'd just like to have a look at them because I haven't seen those anywhere. You know, it would be interesting to see. Yeah, obviously Stansfield didn't have a fantastic game, but did you notice that everyone's reaction when Davies took Stansfield off and knocked Ducks? You know, you only have to look at the reaction of people. That doesn't make it right, but I'm just saying. John Farmer saying he's convinced. I'm concerned for Pike. I've been involved in open age football since the 60s. The shoulder will keep on popping out. Yeah, it needs surgery, there's no doubt about that. It depends when he has it. You can nurse it, but you know, if Pike plays with that shoulder back in again, he's going to be aware of it all the time. I just think it's better to get it over with now, have the surgery done. We've got a strong squad, and perhaps Iwata goes back into that middle. I'll be saying we draw because of the ref. Plain and simple, yeah. If he knew what he was doing, we would have won 2-0. I do think that I think the referee had a poor game. I mean, there was a real big red card early on, first half, midway through the first half. I think it was the tackle on Pike as well. Studs up. Perhaps it wasn't, but anyway, it was a red, you know, and there was a yellow handed out. There was that handball on the line, which should have been a penalty. I don't think you can argue too much with the goal that wasn't, except for the fact that Priska had the centre half all over him, your arms round him, and you know, you couldn't believe it really. But referees have got to do something about these melees that go in on in the 6-yard box. You know, I mean, they just seem to turn a blind eye to it. So with the balls in play, if someone's got both arms around you and they're wrestling into the ground, it's a penalty. You know, it does and that's exactly what happened when Priska headed that ball. And I mean, didn't he do well to get that header off anyway? And yeah, what a shame. I mean, it would have been absolutely brilliant for him, wouldn't it, to have netted in that game? It really would have. But there you go. Yeah, Pike, we're all concerned for him, and of course, as I said a little bit earlier, you know, Tom Wagner, what a shame. Let's hope Tom comes back to full fitness himself pretty soon. He'll probably be back a lot quicker than Pike, to be honest. Yeah, that those shoulder operations take time. They take time to heal. Rehabilitation. You know, I mean, he's not going to get much change out of the rest of the season, is he really? Such a shame, because he plays such a big part in Chris Davis's teams, and I know a lot of people have been screaming for that to happen, not for him to dislocate his shoulder, but for him to be replaced in the team. And now we're going to probably get our wish, and we'll see exactly how much we do or don't miss him. I don't know. Ben Colley saying, do you think it's fair to say that Dux is a luxury player? Gets a goal, but he seems to go missing. Can we afford that in the 10? That's the whole thing. It's an interesting point, Ben, and like the second point you're making, that is, you're asking, could Roberts come in? I mean, he does invert, but he plays like a number 8, really. And I don't even think we need to have that sort of specialised number 10. It's like Dux and Stansfield often interchange the positions. But I don't know how, you know, is there room to have Roberts and Vicente in the same team? I don't think there is, because they'll occupy the same spaces. It was a little bit like Solis and Dore the other night. They were occupying the same space sometimes, and I think Dore was in Solis's, you know, got in Solis's way. So I don't think that's the answer, but I do think that Dux is a luxury player. I don't want him to be, because he has got, you know, he's got real ability, hasn't he? And we can see that he can put the ball away. We know that he has spatial awareness. He can see a pass. But honestly, like against Albion, I was just so frustrated by him, because he might not have been playing for an hour. I mean, when he hit the shot that the keeper pulled off a good stave, I mean, that goes in, then you got to say, well, you know, like, if he plays every game and he doesn't do anything except score a goal, then, you know, he's got 46 goals in the season, hasn't he? But I just think, you know, I don't know that German players have got that longevity of a British season. So if we look at, you know, I think Neumann has good runs, and then he has mares, you know. His distribution the other night was poor, although him and Clara, I must say, did play really, really well together. So it's just difficult. But Ben, with Roberts, you know, and this, I think this is one of the things that Albion did the other night. As soon as they knew Roberts is playing, then they just like overload that left-hand side of their defence and force Roberts in on his left foot. They make him invert, doesn't give him the opportunity to get towards the edge of the box where he wants to be, and he was having to invert deep, and he was having to knock the ball backwards loads of times, because Albion didn't give him that opportunity to get forward. Vicente comes on and the whole thing changes, because Vicente goes around the outside. Albion weren't happy with that, you know. I mean, Vicente, as soon as he came on, the Albion fullbacks were in panic, weren't they, you know, and the defence looked worried. He got the ball to the byline on several occasions. He won several corners, you know. But that's what I mean when I say it's horses for courses. Another game, Vicente would be better on the bench and Roberts would be better wide, because we're playing a team that probably doesn't set up like Albion. Albion went on the low block, and when you do that, you need that ball around the back, because sometimes it's the only way to get around them. And we've seen Osman do it, didn't we? You know, Osman was taking it on the outside and they were panicking. Ben, he really is a very talented footballer, but, you know, perhaps he's more made for the Bundesliga than he is for the Championship. Paul James, people think he is big. He is big. He can put it about. He can't. He's not physical at all. He isn't physical. He's 6'1", I think, which is a massive. Fucking me, like I'm 5'8". So he's not, you know, he's not a massive bloke, but he's 6'1". Should probably be better in the air than he is, but he's more of. He's not going to cause problems in the box. He's not going to, you know, go into that box and kick up a fuss. Centre halves aren't going to be quaking in the boots because he's there. Where I think with Prisco they will. simply because, you know, the lad's 6'3", and he's fearless, you know. I mean, we've seen him already. You know, he doesn't mind. He's going to put his head where no one else wants to. He's a bit like Clara in that way. He's a big lad, and the other thing I love about Prisca is you're not going to see him relying on size in terms of hanging. You know, he's not just going to wait for that high ball. He's going to pick the ball up outside the box, and he's going to run at players. And we've seen it against Albion. Albion looked unsettled by him. It's a shame, really, and it never happens. And I honestly don't know why. I'm not a manager, and this is probably why I don't know why. But why we can't make, you know, substitutions at half time? Because wouldn't it be good at half time in the second half if Vicente comes out, Prisca comes out, you know, and it just changes that, and even, you know, Gimme comes out and give Osmond like a half off, because you're at right, you know, you're playing against Osmond for a half. Osman, you don't want to suddenly see him go off and see Dimmy come on D. You know, I mean, it's an absolute nightmare scenario for a fullback. But you know, I always think that when it's left to 60 minutes, by the time you got the subs on and they've settled in a little bit, it's 65, almost 70 minutes, and before you know it, it's 80, 81. And then, you know, panic stations are starting to set in, and although we did batter Albion for those last sort of 15-20 minutes, I think it has to be said that, you know, Albion deserved a point. You know, I think they did. They came to us, they had a go, in terms of, they didn't have a go like they came out and attacked us. They had a go, you know, in terms of fighting us. I mean, they did. They weren't going to give any ground, but I think that ball goes in early. That goal goes in when Pike makes a header and stopped on the line with the hand, or you know, one of the other ones that nearly went in. One of those goes in, the game changes completely, because then Albion have to come out. Albion come out against us, we're going to destroy them, you know. But we had that low block thing again, and I just think it was unfortunate that Robert started. But I don't know what Chris Davies thought Albion were going to do. That I was a bit surprised when I see them go so defensive so early on. But I don't know. Ben Collins saying Vicente looks the Prem real deal. He does, mate. He absolutely does. I absolutely love Vicente. He's got that. He's got that sort of thing. You don't really know what he's going to do next, and it goes past players without sort of realising it, if you know what I mean. You look at him and you think, how did he get there? But he's an absolutely wonderful player. Ben, the other thing that we have to think about with Leeds is they're also going to be playing with a with a depleted team, not a depleted team. They're going to play a second string, aren't they? Because they've got more important things to do, just like we have. You know, we have the Championship top 6 to get into. Leeds want to stay in the Premier League. They're not going to risk too much playing against Blues at St Andrews. Ben's saying we always look better when teams come and take us on. Absolutely. Because the thing is, like, you can look at our team and think, well, that's what a brilliant footballing team that is, you know, and you know, our team's going to cope with us. Well, when teams look at us, they think, bloody hell, like, let's look at the talent in that team. They're a real footballing team, aren't they? What will we do? I know, they stop them playing football. So that's what they do. You know, they come a bit heavy-handed. They put 10 men behind the ball. They play in the low block. Albion, as well as playing in the low block, played a very high defensive line, which squashed the midfield up a little bit as well. And again, it didn't help when the midfield is condensed in an area like that. That on the right-hand side, we were really congested, because you know, it's the way Paddy Roberts plays, is he inverts, and so when he was coming inside, he's just turning into traffic. On the other side, when Osman and Wagner were going down the left, when that ball goes wide for Osman, he doesn't cut in, he goes outside, and that then pulls the Albion defence apart a little bit. It makes them go after him, it makes everyone come back a little bit, it opens spaces up. But on the right hand side, it was like, you know, you couldn't get a bloody playing card between the players at times. So when teams do come, you know, you're going to get it when we play, and this is why, you know, everyone's going, it's a tough game at Norwich, it's a tough game at Middlesbrough. They are, But those games are going to be games when those teams are going to play football against us. So Norwich are going to want to play football. Their manager escapes my memory at the moment. Jesus. Anyway, he likes to play football, and Bury will play football. So when teams play football, there ain't many teams, particularly now with our newcomers, that are better at playing football than us. So I don't mind those teams. The teams we have to worry about are teams like Albion, like your Oxfords, like your Portsmouths, who are going to not want to lose. And when they don't want to lose, that's when they overload the midfield. Albion were brave in pushing up the way they did, as high as they did, knowing that we got someone with pace like Osman there, but they got away with it. He did break a few times. The other thing that went well for Albion was that the conditions were absolutely awful, weren't they? And that helped Albion. It stopped us playing the football. Our pitch is good. I don't care what anyone says it is. And when that ball's played when that ball is played, it's not Farquhar, Paul. It's he's gone, mate. I'm going to find out for you now. But when when a team pushes up the way Albion didn't have it, and sort of try and tempt us, it's very, very difficult it's very difficult sometimes to get through. I'm just going to try and have a little look at Championship games tomorrow. I'm pretty sure Norwich are playing, are they? Oh, Jesus. Someone's going to tell me Norwich's manager in a minute. I can't be sitting there going through it because I've got you guys there, haven't I? Spell checker Paul James Farquhar. It's not it's not him. I've had a new manager the last couple of games. He's probably played 4 games. I think they've won 3 out of 4, haven't they? Can't remember him. Ben Colley, Middlesbrough going to come for the win. Could be a great opportunity. Well, they are. Those teams above us, and like Millwall is away as well. Millwall, we beat them 4-0. Clemente, thank you, Sean. Yeah, Clemente is the Norwich manager. They play some nice football, and I think they will open up and have a go at us. Middlesbrough will have a go at us. Millwall want the points. They want to make sure they get into playoffs. So all the teams that we're worrying about that are above us are the teams that are going to open up and let us play football. That's dangerous for them, because we have got some very, very good footballers. Paul James saying the Leeds manager, I thought you mentioned. Sorry, mate. Sorry, Paul. I'm probably talking a bit too quick or something. There's a lot of stuff coming through. I want to try and catch it as it comes. I was talking about Philippe Clemente, who is the Norwich City manager. We've got 53 comments gone, so we've got 47 left. Woohoo! Lee Harvey, they all will, mate. Paul James, lead manager, yeah. So, all of those teams are going to want points against us. So anyone that's in that block of teams with us that we play against are going to want to play football. Like, we're not going to go anywhere and want to get a point, are we now? I know we go, we play Middlesbrough, we'll probably think, well, a point's not a bad result against Middlesbrough. It's a shit result, because we need 3 points every time we go out. And so that's how we have to look at the games now. But those teams there are going to try and match us at football, and then it depends how good we are at football, and we're good, aren't we? I don't think we've got any players now. I mean, the 2 centre-backs are a bit like, they're more your old school centre-backs. We aren't too worried about that. Both full-backs can play football. When we get Ethan Laird back, how good is it going to be to have him back on the right? We'll have Lee Buchanan if we have to use him as well on the left. And then when I say we have to use him, I'm not being, I'm not being disrespectful to Lee. He's one of the best left backs in the league, but it's going to take some moving to get Kyle Wagner out of that team. Solis looks absolutely resplendent, doesn't he, where he is. Paik, hopefully, we can get him back in and amongst the games again. Iwata's there, Doyle's there, both players that can play at the highest level. On the right hand side, we got Vicente, we've got Paddy Roberts, Then in the tens we got Ducks. We got Stansfield, we got Dimmy, we got Osman, we've got Priska. I mean, Jesus, we have got a lot of good players, haven't we? And let's hope. Chris is obviously, Chris Davis is very, very good at analysing opposition, and he'll know exactly what we're doing. Calvert-Lewin, you've got to watch Calvert-Lewin like a hawk if he plays. I think we're going to see a very, very weak Leeds team tomorrow. I think they're going to put out a definite second string team. They're not going to risk anyone against us. They don't care about the FA Cup. When you're playing these guys, like FA Cup games, and Leeds have a Premier League position to hold on to, they ain't going to care about the FA Cup. And rightly so, and it's like us, we shouldn't care about it. The main thing for us really is getting ourselves into that top six and trying to get ourselves into a playoff final and, getting up. I think everyone's playing for sixth place, I don't think anyone below sixth is going to get into that top five. It's going to be very, very difficult to do it. Having said that, I suppose, if you're a Millwall, you've only got to lose 2 games and have someone else win 2 games, and suddenly it's on its head, isn't it? So, very, very interesting. Sunday lunchtime kickoffs as well. I would much rather that game be tonight than Sunday lunchtime. Friday night at St Andrews is a different kettle of fish to Sunday afternoon, isn't it? Sunday lunchtime kickoffs tend to be a little bit sterile. I'm sure the atmosphere will be good, particularly with Leeds taking 5.5k there. Lee saying you never know, mate. They might come good team to make a statement. Yeah, I don't think so though. When you think about it, do you, Lee? If it was you, would you be worrying about like going to St Andrews and playing a strong team when you've got a Premier League game 6 days later? I wouldn't. I'd be looking at the Premier League and thinking, right, this is a good chance to give some of the players that are sitting on the bench week in, week out a bit of a run, Dan Garvey saying we've got the squad but need some continuity and coordination to get the pieces fitting. Yeah, it's a good point, Dan. And I think it's a shame really that we didn't win 2 of the home games that we drew, because we'd be 4 points better off. We'd be in the top 6. We'd be 2 points above, that top 6 position. And I think it's like one of those. It's one of those things where we've got all the players now, but now we've got to see who plays well together and how we fit them together. And that's the thing, It's a good point though, Dan. It is a case of someone's trying to ring me and I won't give up. Go away. In Spain we get those junk calls just like you do in the UK. So Paul Jones saying 2 trips to Wembley, let's go. Oh Jesus, wouldn't it be great to get, if you're going to go up and you're definitely going to win, then the way to go up is through the playoffs, isn't it? Norwich last time, wasn't it? And what a fantastic day that was, wasn't it? I can still remember Darren Carter, right behind us, where they got those in the end of Blues Run in the Millennium Stadium. They've got like the boxes have got. You can sit outside them, they were right behind us, and Jasper Carrott was there. And I remember Jasper Carrott just shouting down to us, just in front of him, like that. If he scores this, we're in the Premier League. Going, yeah, I think so. It was it was one of them, and it was a great day. And if it doesn't happen this season, it's going to happen next season. We've just got to have a little bit of patience and don't panic, And the other night when we drew to Albion, bloody hell, some of the comments that were going around the different groups, you think we'd just been relegated. It's unbelievable. I don't know where our entitled supporters suddenly come from. In the close season, I'm saying we're only going to lose 6 games this season, we're going up, we're automatically going up, and people are going to me, fucking calm down a bit, all we want is consolidation this season, just stay up, everyone's going to be happy. Hello. We're 10th in the table with 2 points outside the playoffs and everybody wants to sack the manager. What's that all about? You look at Albion, I feel sorry for Albion. I mean, their manager the other day, to be fair, he did well. He did probably as well as he could do. But you know what? Would you rather be Albion or would you rather be Blues? Would you rather have Chris Davis or would you rather have Summit Ryan in it? I know which way I'd go. I don't think we should be too worried about TW stroke, to be honest, Dan. I was saying when I came on earlier that you know, he's getting a little bit out of hand on some of the groups, and we all love Tom Wagner and we all want to show our love, but you know, he hasn't died, and you know, like from what I can understand, it's a mild stroke. He's 56 years of age. He will have absolutely the best medical attention. I've worked in, you know, I've worked in cardiac physiology and rehabilitation and stroke rehabilitation, and without knowing too much detail about it, it's completely recoverable. You know, within 6 weeks he can be virtually back to normal. And you know, just depends obviously how you know how bad it is, but I don't think from what I can hear, it's quite mild, and it's lovely for us to do all this. But don't you know, I've seen people wanting to do some crazy things. You know, like I said, he isn't dead, and I'm sure he's absolutely delighted at the response that he's got from, you know, how worried we all are. Of course we are. We love you to bits, Tom, but you know, just get well soon, son. You know, you're a very fit-looking man. You got loads of dough, you got a lot to live for, you're with the Blues now, so don't be doing anything daft. No, I think Tom Wagner's going to be fine, you know, and of course, you know, we got Tom Healy as well, so you know, while Tom Wagner isn't there, Dan, we got Tom Healy, and Tom Healy is, you know, like he's up there as important as Tom. You know, the two Toms. You know, well, three if you count Tom Brady as well. But you know, Tom Healy's there. Everyone's there. The whole thing doesn't stand or fall on Tom Wagner not being well. All he is he's unwell for a while. Let's get him back to St Andrews. Let's make him happy, and let's hopefully, you know, get some points under our belts. Probably beat Leeds. I mean, it would be brilliant if we beat Leeds, wouldn't it? And I think there's every possibility, because, like I was saying earlier, our second string of players actually isn't that much of a second string of players, isn't it? We've got a very, very strong squad for a championship team. And Leeds are going to be playing probably like young players who are going to be playing for their place, which means they're not going to, you know, they're going to be adventurous. They're going to try stuff they probably wouldn't try. It gives us the opportunity to beat them, and I think we can. With the St Andrews Partisan St Andrews crowd behind us, and everyone looking positively at the game, our new players wanting to make a statement, players that probably don't get all the minutes for us wanting to make a statement. This could be a big game for us, but if we get beat, it doesn't matter. It's, you know, it doesn't matter. It's a run out for some players, and I'm really you know, I think it's come at a good time and a bad time. It's a good time because we're in the draw. It's a bad time because teams are going to be playing on Saturday, and it's going to put more distance between us and them. Although I'm contradicting myself, I did say on Monday that what we should do is have a target of 69 points, and don't worry where we are in the league, just go for it, you know. Lee saying we give them a good game. Yeah, I'm sure we will, mate. Yeah, obviously I've seen a few fans moaning, Steve, on Facebook. Just scroll past. It's something you got to do, mate. You know, I mean, it's not worth engaging some of them, because honestly, a lot of the supporters that make comments don't really understand what's going on, and that, you know, listen, none of us know the game inside out. We don't. But you know, I think a lot of people make comments about players that I don't really understand what's going on. I mean, someone was saying, I forget which game it was. So two games ago, someone come and said, "Look, that's Solis. What a waste of money he is. What's he done?" Fucking hell, what? Dan Garvey, Blues under 21 ladies into the cup final. I know, mate. That's absolutely brilliant. I won it last year. We're going to win it again, Dan. Ladies night match on Monday against Palace. It does need our support, because the ladies had a bit of a slip up last week. When I say slip up, they dropped a point at Durham. but it allows Charlton to get that bit further away again. We could have been within 3 points of them. Unfortunately, we're not. We've got Bristol City over our shoulder, and I would fancy us to beat anyone in a playoff, but we don't want to be in the playoff. We want to automatically go up. We deserve it. We score goals for fun. We just weren't at it, were we? I mean, from the very kick-off, that Leeds Durham game, you could tell it just didn't seem right, did it? And I do think Franchi had a bit of a mare with the goal, and I'm not one to knock her, because actually I'm always saying what a good goalkeeper Franchi is. But I just think she misjudged it, and obviously the lady goalkeepers, the women's goalkeepers, aren't as big as the men's, and you know, she's not 6'5", so Beadle would have just probably caught that, you know. But I think she was just she wasn't expecting that ball to go where it went. No one was, but it did catch her just under the crossbar and the post, didn't it? And yeah, you know, it didn't look good, but we drew the game, and it was literally the last kick of the game, wasn't it? What a pain in the arse that was. We've had some bad luck with those recently, haven't we? Not just the ladies, but the men. It's like with the last minute Priska the other night, you know, 6 minutes into injury time, and he scores and it's disallowed. It's like, fuck. Dan saying a bad pitch goal was inch perfect into top corner. It was absolutely brilliant. The pitch is a synthetic pitch, so the girls aren't used to playing on that surface. So yeah, and you can use any excuse you want, really, can't you? But you know, we drew, and we got to move on to the next game, and hopefully it'll be another 5 or 6 goals. Our ladies are absolutely goal hungry, aren't they? And we got some extremely good footballers. Of course, Lily Crosswaite wasn't playing either, so that was quite a big miss for us. Just a lot of things going on that, you know, didn't work out for us last week. It's just the way it is with football sometimes, and who knows what's going to happen in the next game. Well, I do. We're going to beat Leeds. Let's hope. I don't know. I might come on tomorrow a little bit, but maybe so. We've got the Sunday morning live, which is on at 10 o'clock. So if you're actually going to the game, I don't think you'll be joining us for that. But if you do want to join us on the Zoom, we'll know the team while the game's out. We will get the team news whilst the live is going out, so we'll be able to discuss that. And then when we finish it and go and watch the game, and then we can all discuss it the next day. I might do a little live tomorrow if I get the opportunity. I've got a busy day, but yeah, I think we might do that. I'm actually going out for a drink tomorrow night for the first time in 3 weeks. I'm looking forward to it, actually, because never really bothers me that much. I have a busy work life, and this takes up a lot of time, you know, the group and everything, and we're involved in a lot of stuff. But I do, you know, I like to go out for a drink, and I am actually looking forward to going out on Saturday and getting out for a few hours, because the nice thing about this Saturday is we won't have lost a game, and we won't have drawn a game, so we haven't got to have the the idiot police on alert in the group to make sure nobody says anything fucking out of order, you know, the normal crap. So we'll actually go out, get relaxed, have a few drinks, do the live on Sunday morning with probably a little bit of a hangover, then watch the game, and then, you know, like, celebrate afterwards. Let's hope. I've still got this cold. You can hear it, can't you? There's a lot of it going round over here. Probably you know that, Dan, yourself. Spain has been hit by a bit of a cold thing. So we've nearly done the hour, 55 minutes. I think it's been an interesting one. You've had a lot of comments to make, which is nice. No tin hats needed, Paul. Exactly. Well, I like Paul, and a lot of others of you as well. You know, if you see somebody having a bit of a whinge, you know, you always come in and have our backs, either me or the moderators or whatever, because we don't do anything to piss people off. But if somebody says something that you know, like, so-and-so's a so-and-so, like a player or whatever, they're gone, you know, because we don't have that in this group. That's why we had 1,000 members every month. We add 1,000 members to our membership, simply because we do that. You know, we allow people to speak, and when people say freedom of speech, what they mean is freedom to be able to slag our own players off, our manager off, you know, each other off. Well, it's not going to happen here, you know. I've said it a million times. You all know that anyway. We try to be respectful in our group, and we're really excited to have our brand new website opening really soon. It's going to be in the next few weeks, and it's going to be all singing and all dancing. So you can go on that. You get live feed on the Blues all the time, updates every couple of minutes. Along the bottom, we're going to have the live feed to Facebook going on all the time. When we do these lives, we're going to try and do them via the website, but they will also be in Facebook. So, you know, you can go on the website, you can interact with Facebook, you can look at the RSS feeds we've got BBC at the moment. I think we're going to get Sky Sports, so all the latest sports news is going to be coming up. It's going to tell you everything about us. All of our lives are going to be in there, so you can go and pick whichever one you want to watch. We've got our absolutely fabulous new BCFC history page coming up on there. Pete Hannon's going to be looking at that. That's going to be brilliant. And what we want to do as well is get your stories as supporters. So our history page isn't going to be so much like, you know, look at this photo of this programme from 1935. There will be some of that, but what we want to hear about is, does anyone remember J.O., or does anyone remember Baz, or you know, what are your tales about him, you know, or so and so, you know, Carol the Scarf Lady, do you remember her? What do you remember about her? Oh, wasn't she good? You know, and like actually interact about people rather than objects, you know. So all these people that have passed, and we've had a lot of them, you know, over the last couple of years, sadly, a lot of people that we love have passed, Blues fans, you know, players that have died, and we can bring their memories to life live, you know, into our site via the history page, and I think that's going to be really, really good. So anyone who wants to contribute to that, you're more than welcome to. You just got to send it in. We're going to give you all the details about how to do all that stuff. It's just going to be a really, really good website, and we are all working towards it at the moment. Emma and Emily are having a lot to do with it. Pete Hannon is involved in putting a lot of the other stuff together. Alan and Beck obviously involved in arranging a lot of it. Me, you know, I'm sort of pretending to do something and I'm not, and all that stuff, you know. Yeah, I could look busy, you know, like, well, I'm really busy. Oh yeah, what you do? Well, not a lot. Anyway, thanks for your time. Lovely to see everyone again. I must be honest, when I got in today, I thought I'd said it was going to be at 1 o'clock, and I didn't. I said it was going to be 12:30, and there's me like hanging around like, ooh, Then I looked on Facebook and I just seen the post I put up earlier. I'm on at 12:30 today. I looked at the time, it was 20 past. Oh shit, I've got to get on. I'm usually early. I still was early by a few minutes, but not many. Yeah, so thanks very much. We got, you know, I'll be looking forward to seeing what the team is tomorrow. That will be really interesting. I might actually just put a team out later to see, you know, see what you think. I think we're probably going to see Allsop in goal. I'll tell you what I think it is now. Allsop in goal, Samuel at right back. I think we haven't got much choice than to play Wagner at left back, although I might be wrong there. Who knows, Lee Buchanan might even be back. Is that possible? It is. Two central halves are going to be Panzo and Clara. Middle, we're going to see Solis and Iwata. Right hand side, Vicente. Middle, Priska. Left, Gimme. 10, Stansfield. That's my team. So remember it. I'll try and remember it, and if I get it right, just come and say, oh, you got it right. If I got it wrong, don't say fuck all right? It's between us. Paul, keep right on tune, mate. Everyone else, keep right on. Have a fabulous day. A great, I might come and have a little chat with everyone tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. But listen, we're going to we're going to. It won't be Lee. I don't think it's going to be that, mate. I don't think it's going to be the same team at all. I think we're going to see some players rested tomorrow. Paz Parishes, I'm sorry, Paz. I didn't see you, mate. Was you on already? Shit on the Villa, son, and have a nice. Enjoy the game on Sunday, everyone. And if I don't speak to you tomorrow, I might speak to you Sunday morning. But I'll see you all soon. Keep the faith. Pop onto the project. Do your stuff. I always get the wrong arm. There it is. Look, there's the KRO. Let's have a little look at the badge while we're there. Woo! Penguin as well Sunday, innit? I can't wait to see us in the Penguin. See you later, guys. All the best.